Hello and welcome to this episode of the Be Free podcast. So, today I wanted to cover something that has supported me so much through navigating perimenopause, through life, through achieving incredible things, through finding success in health and business, and all these things again. So, today we're speaking about the concept of doing more of less. And honestly, I would say this is the key to really getting that sense of achievement, of following your purpose, of really feeling like you're thriving. So, before I dive into that, yesterday I launched my Be Free book club and mentoring process. So, this is something that's going to be starting on March the 11th. Now, this is my gift to you guys for my birthday. So, I am 46th on the 8th of March, 46th. 46 on the 8th of March, and it's also 9 years in business for me in April. And 6 years since my best-selling book Be Free came out, and it just felt like I really wanted to give back in a powerful, transformative way. I want this year to be the year that people really thrive. So, my goal for this process, this book mentoring process, is to take 100 people through this process. And I'll tell you that ambition and ambitious goal would not be around if it wasn't for this doing more of less concept either. So, very quickly touching on the Be Free Book Club and mentoring process. So I've created this 4 month process where I'm going to guide you. If you're watching on YouTube, you can see me holding up my book. My book, Be Free, A Holistic Guide to Freedom from Anxiety, Stress, and Low Mood for Life. So we're going to work through that book together. I am going to be there on hand. I mean, how often do you read a book and it's got exercises and you're like, next, on to the next book. I don't want that for you. I want to be there so that I can support you in embodying all the learnings, the teachings, the practices, so that you can leave overwhelm, stress, anxiety. You can feel clearer, you can feel more confident. Your mindset can begin to step into that really beautiful, optimistic space. So we're going to be doing that over a 4 month period. You're going to have live calls with me twice a month. We're going to have a community space, a WhatsApp space, a Facebook group where I'll be sharing additional bits, pieces with you guys. There's going to be some bonus bits and bobs from me as well, because obviously I have learned a lot since this book was published 6 years ago. In and around healing and overcoming stress, anxiety, and low mood. So I'll pop a link to that at the end of the podcast. There's two options payment there. There's £99, or for those of you who want to spread the payments, there you can also do it over 2 months as well. So there's a payment plan available as well. So I will pop the link there. Please, 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 if you know anybody who is just like needing a bit of a lift or just wants to take themselves to the next level or wants to overcome their anxiety, stress, low mood, tell them, tell them, tell them, tell them. Honestly, I want to share this so far and wide. It's probably the lowest cost, well, it's undoubtedly the lowest cost mentoring. I'm just looking at a robin out my window. Mentoring process that I have ever created for that duration of time. So don't hesitate. Maybe this is your doing less of more. Maybe you do more of this Be Free book thing and less of something else. Um, okay, so let's dive into this concept with you. I'm going to try and keep this podcast, you know, succinct, but you know your girl. Sometimes I go off on a tangent, but we're going to keep it succinct. Um, so let's discuss this concept of doing more of less. I mean, ultimately, it's a very mindfulness-led practice. It kind of came into my life in a forced way around perimenopause, in that during perimenopause, when I was experiencing anxiety and depression and fatigue and overwhelm, and life just felt really fucking hard. Excuse the F-bomb, but it was pretty damn miserable. And I didn't have the capacity. I didn't have the capacity to do all the things I once did. And it really highlighted to me, holy shit, Suze. Like you did and do a lot. So when my health forced me, I couldn't do like all the farm work at home. I couldn't really see clients. I had to ask my husband to like, suddenly do all these things that I would just do like normally. I couldn't see the friends that I would normally see. It really opened my eyes to friendships where I was investing more than that other person. And yeah, so although this doing more of less was enforced, um, it actually taught me so much. And this is what I'm going to share with you today. So here's a little way to think about it. So years ago, I used to coach kids with anxiety, and I was t teaching relaxed kids. And what I came to discover, and through having my own children, when my kids were younger, the older ones, not so much with Lily, when my older kids were younger, we used to let them do everything, like anything they wanted to do, swimming, gymnastics, netball, football, snowboarding, skateboarding, like they're literally cheer, whatever, right? Like they were allowed to do violin. All these things are just coming in that they did, right? Horse riding. The kids did not have an opportunity to really focus their energy and thrive in one area. And what happens, so if you think about this from a kid's point of view, what happens is they become stressed and anxious because one, they're not really feeling like they're achieving what they can in one area, and two, they're rushing about from pillar to post. The parents are probably rushing them about from pillar to post. I know I was, two older kids, a baby, try to go here, there, and everywhere. I mean, it's absolutely ludicrous. So when my daughter came, Lily came, um, I really made this conscious decision that actually, no, she's not going to do all the things. She's going to do a couple of things, and that's going to be it. And for her, that was swimming and horse riding. And she did both of those up to the point of competition level and then stopped because she doesn't like competition. And that's okay. But she was given this opportunity to actually really feel invested in one area. And it's the same for us as adults. If we are trying to um, go to the gym, go to yoga class, go to the Pilates class, learn a new skill at college, do all the things at work, be on the board of something, run your kids here, there, everywhere, you are going to feel like you are failing at freaking everything. Like there is no way you are going to feel like, oh my gosh, I'm absolutely thriving in life because I can do all these things. Because I guarantee you will not be doing all those things well. And with that comes that sense of failure, not feeling good enough. If you think about anybody who is really successful at what they do, it's not because, think about a footballer, it's not because they're, I don't know, playing hockey, basketball, golf, tennis, um, you know, and training for football. They will be super focused on the things that are going to support them in that one area. So when we can be really mindful and conscious about, okay, what's actually important to me? Where do I want to focus my time and energy? Because time and energy is something you cannot get back. You can try the other skill, you can try the other hobby or whatever another time. Why not give one thing your all and see what frickin' happens? Because that is when change will occur. When we are scattered in all these different areas, nothing gets finished, nothing gets completed, nothing gets done to the standard that you desire. So, I'm currently reading, which ties in really nicely to this, Gary Keller's book, The One Thing. So I'm just showing that here for the use on YouTube. So number one bestseller, The One Thing, the surprisingly simple truth behind extraordinary results. Um, and it is exactly this. So when we are doing more of less, we're focusing more on that one thing. So what would be your one thing that you might want to achieve this month or this week? And what if you just focused on that? So yesterday for me, that was creating a web page for this Be Free book club and mentoring. But that meant that the other things that I wanted to, that I would normally do, like my weekly email, other bits and bobs, just work like podcast wasn't going to get done yesterday because I wanted to focus all my time on that one thing. And guess what? It got finished, it got completed. I can now share that with my community. It's out there. Um, but if I had decided to do, oh, okay, I'll write the podcast, I'll write the podcast notes, plus I'll try and start the website, and I'll go and do the email. None of those things were going to get completed to a standard um, that was good. So when we are thinking about this, doing more of less, what areas of your life could you implement this? So for me, I'll give you some examples that might benefit you. So I have gone all in on my Pilates this year. So I am going to two Pilates classes a week instead of one. And literally within a month, my body shape is changing. I've got less pain in my body. My core is tighter. Um, and yeah, like I feel like I'm getting good at it. It's not so freaking hard as it was because I am investing my time and energy in doing that. Um, the other things are things like friendships. I'm really dialing it in on certain friendships so that we've got depth, we've got experience. I'm checking in with friends differently. Um, we can build on our relationships with one another more deeply. It's so hard, I think, in today's modern age because we have access to, friends on the phone, friends online, da da da, all these different spaces and places. Um, and I love so many people, but I don't energetically have the capacity for that all of that anymore. There's other things in life that are my purpose that I feel called to do, like my writing, creating this meditation training program, all of these things, and none of that would be achievable if I was like going here, there, and everywhere. So it's hard because we need boundaries around these things, but ultimately it benefits everyone. The people you are with get your undivided depth of relationships begin to build. And then the other things that you're really passionate about also get your time and energy. So, um, spiritual practices as well. So rather than doing all the things, if you think about our Soul Sanctuary membership, these people see results, they feel the benefits because they are dialing it in. In their morning practice, they're doing their gratitude practice, their meditation, and intention setting every single day, right? And through doing that, or not necessarily for some of them every day, some of them, it's like twice a week or whatever works for them, but through that consistency, they see the transformation, they see their self-awareness build, they see the peace begin to um, experience their body. I was speaking to a lady this weekend who is one of my members, and she was saying exactly that. She's like, oh my gosh, I cannot imagine my life without this now because I wake up in the morning and I like sometimes feel really scattered, and then I come and join you guys, and then it's like I feel aligned again. I can show up in the world as the best version of myself. And that is what it's about because she is focusing and committing to this thing, right? To this practice. So, from a membership point of view, I've cancelled a number of things I used to be part of. I'm now part of a writing group, so I'm focusing on that. I'm part of a business mentoring group, focusing on that. So, like, I've got my writing group, my business thing, and then personally, I'm part of a manifestation membership, because I love all things manifestation. It just like excites me so much, and that's where I'm putting my time and energy. So have a little think about it. Have a little think about where you can do more of less. And the same thing applies to multitasking. So if you are multitasking at work or at home or whatever, you lose so much energy and capacity through doing that. There's so much research into it. The time cost by multitasking, the loss of concentration. Like it said, it's suggested that you lose up to 23 minutes every time you task shift. So if you're like, oh, I'm just going to, like I was giving an example, I'm just going to go and write the email. Oh, no, actually, I'll go and do the website. Oh, no, I'll go and reply to that client. Oh, no. Right. And every time your brain is losing capacity because it's having to shift focus. So it said that you can lose up to 20% capacity. And it also takes you about 23 minutes to get back on task. I mean, that is insane when you think about how much time you are losing. Now, it's not easy, as I said, to have those boundaries with yourself. I put on airplane mode or do not disturb when I'm working so that I can really focus on the work I'm doing. And that's enabled me to go from working for about 45 hours, sometimes more a week, to around 15 to 20. And I know that for a fact because I actually clock my hours to show myself how much hours I'm doing so I can check in with myself. And in order to be able to do that, I've had to streamline. I've had to be really focused. Okay, what am I doing in that time? Because I value those other time that's available to me to walk my dog, to be in nature, to go to Pilates, to spend time with my horse, to spend meaningful time with my family, my loved ones, and to rest, right? So have a think. I really hope this conversation inspires you. What can you do more of in one area, right? So doing more of less. What do you need to let go of? And tomorrow is actually full moon as I'm recording this, so this should probably go out on the Thursday that I'm looking at my calendar. Thursday the 13th. And I think it's full moon on the Wednesday the 12th. So this will be the day after full moon. But again, perfect timing to just think about what are you letting go of so that you can really freaking thrive in 2025 because I am so here for supporting everybody and doing that. Like I really do feel like I've got my life back this year. Got my energy back and I am here to support you. So if you want to join me on that Be Free process, be guided by me, mentored by me, you can just simply go to the website www.spiritandsoul.me/Be Free Book Club. I will pop the link in the show notes of everywhere or just message me and say, hey, what is this thing you're speaking about? I want more information and I can send you the link. You can take a read of all the cool stuff we're going to be doing. We're going to be looking at nutrition. We're going to be looking at meditation and mindfulness. We're going to be doing a lot of mindset work, positive psychology stuff, empaths, loads of stuff in there for you, breath work, grounding, exercise, movement, self-care, complementary medicine, alternative therapies. It's all in there for £99. So come join me. I will see you there. And until then, have an absolutely incredible week. I am sending you all so much love. And I shall be back next week. Loads of love. Bye, guys.